If you would like to know how to get through life's most difficult times without ending up sick or falling apart, you clicked on the right video. Hi, I'm Dr. Cori Stern, and welcome to my channel, Take Control of Your Health. If you're new and you haven't yet subscribed, please hit the subscribe button now. That is my reward for putting this information out there for you. If you like the content at the end, please hit the like button so more people can find the video. And last and most importantly, please share this with anyone that you know that you think would benefit from the information. So I haven't posted a video in a while because I went through one of those life situations that was really, really difficult. And when I figure out how to help myself through any kind of situation that affects your physical health, I like to share it because that's what I do. That's what I do for a living. I help people get through stuff and come out okay. So it's always a great motivation for me to be able to help other people go through these life situations. So I'm talking about major life stressors, major traumas, things that happen to you that are not expected. For example, somebody very close to you becoming very ill and you don't know if they're going to make it, and or you lose them, and or you lose somebody suddenly in an unexpected way, like an accident or a fire or something like that happens to you. You're in an accident, you get hurt. Or other things like you're a victim of a crime, or you suddenly, unexpectedly lose your job that you love, or you lose a lot of money that you were counting on, things like that. These are big, dramatic shocks that happen. Most people experience something like this now and again, hopefully not very often. When you go through a shock or a trauma like this, a lot of stuff happens to your body that, when left unattended, can cause problems later on. So I want to talk to you first about what actually occurs in the physical body when you've suffered a shock or a trauma or a huge loss, and then what you can do to restore yourself and to protect yourself and to help yourself recover so that you don't end up in worse shape than you were in before this happened. In other words, not allow it to knock you down. And for me, I have to keep going. I have, a special needs son depending on me. I have a business to run. I have a lot of people that I am responsible for, that I help to take care of. So no matter what's happening, I got to keep going. And I have to find ways of doing that. So first, let's talk about what happens when either you get huge sudden bad news, or you actually are present and see something that's horrifying, or anything major unexpected happens that's not good. Your body has a stress response. Now, I've talked about stress a lot on this channel because it's a normal part of life, and stress is always there in one form or another. There's low-level chronic stress where you're constantly worrying about something, you're constantly worrying about your finances, or you're constantly worrying about your kids, or things like that. That's what we call chronic stress. But what we're talking about here is major stress, like a huge stressful event. And by the way, it doesn't have to be huge. You can have a huge reaction to a relatively small event. If you trip and fall, or slip and fall and scrape up your knees, you can have a trauma response to that, even though maybe to somebody else it wouldn't be that big of a deal. So what matters is how your body reacts to it. So when you have a stress response, you start producing adrenaline. And adrenaline revs up all your body systems. You may have an elevated heart rate, so you might feel like your heart is pounding. You may get indigestion because your digestion shuts down when you have an adrenaline response, because it's a survival response. Your body is trying to protect you. So, in these situations where you're not needing protection, in other words, you don't need to run away or fight. You're not about to be run over by a car. You're just upset and scared or shocked. The adrenaline response is unwanted. It doesn't help you. So your digestion is affected. You may end up with pain in your intestines, cramping. You may end up with loose stool or diarrhea. Loss of appetite is also very common in this kind of response. We can call it a stress response, a fear response, a shock response. You may have dry mouth. You may have trouble sleeping because your adrenaline actually stimulates you. You may have shaking, tremoring in your body. Your muscles start to contract and start moving uncontrollably, and even experience pain as a result of that. So you may have muscle aches and pains or soreness. Headaches can occur from the same thing, from you're clenching your jaw, your scalp muscles get tight, your neck and your shoulders get tight, and it creates headaches. You can have any of these symptoms. And then depending on how long it goes on, so let's just say, I'll use a scenario, somebody close to you is suddenly sick and you're not sure if they're going to be okay, and it takes, a couple of weeks, and then you lose them. And for those couple of weeks, you're in this adrenaline response. Or alternatively, something suddenly happens, something suddenly bad, some bad news suddenly happens. You receive that bad news, you go into an adrenaline response, and it just persists. You don't calm down. So you get the news, you're shocked, you're traumatized, you're upset, and the incident is basically over. Let's say you just, suddenly get fired from your job and now you're unemployed, but you're still having that freak out response. You're still tremoring, your heart's still racing, your intestines are still cramping, and that can go on for quite some time. After a while, you become extremely depleted. When you're having an adrenaline response, your body is burning up nutrition like crazy. And then if you are not having an appetite, not really eating, and if you are having things like diarrhea, you're losing your nutrition. Your body is burning nutrition. It's burning your minerals, because the minerals are the key that turn all the body systems on. And then you become very depleted. And then you're a mess. You can't function. You get brain fog. You can't focus. You feel like you have no energy. If that continues on and on, you end up with post-traumatic symptoms. You may end up with severe anxiety. You may end up with recurring thoughts or memories of the incident. And we don't want any of that to happen, and it doesn't have to. So let's first talk about some of the things that you can do to take care of you when you're experiencing something like this. And I don't want to tell you that it's easy to do it, right? It's kind of hard to take care of you when you're going through something like this. But it's important, if you want to, If you want to stay alive and function, you have to. You don't have a choice. So first of all, make sure you stay hydrated. So even if you cannot really eat, if you don't have an appetite, you must drink water. And I do recommend that you put a little bit of good quality sea salt or pink salt in your water. And that will help you. That will also help your adrenaline response, because your adrenal glands, which are the glands producing adrenaline, also need salt. So that will be very helpful. If you can't eat, try to get some nutrition through liquid. Maybe have some good quality bone broth. It's very nutritious. It will help you keep your strength up. If you like protein shakes, you can do that. You know, collagen or some clean protein. Clean, I mean, it's organic, it's glyphosate free, so it doesn't have chemicals in it. You can make yourself a shake. If you are able to tolerate raw dairy, raw milk is so sustaining. It has so much, so nutrient dense. It has all your probiotics in it. And just to do my quick raw milk commercial, and I do have a video about raw dairy called "Is Milk Good for You?" I think that's what it's called. My quick commercial, which I'm sure some of you know about already, is an organization in the United States that matches you with a small scale family farm that grows clean, nutrient dense food, and many of them have raw dairy available. And that organization is called Farm Match. It's a nonprofit organization that matches consumers with these small scale family farms. And I get most of my food from one of these farms, and it's been a game changer for me and my family. So in the US, the website, and I'm going to put this in the description of the video, is Farm Match, one word, FARM match, all one word, .com/Dr. Cori, DRCORI. And you put your zip code in, and you get matched with a farm that you can either get to or they deliver to you. And worst case scenario, they ship it to you. They do a great job with their shipping. They pack it nicely. They keep it cold, insulated with dry ice. If you're not in the US, I have a different link that you can check out in the description of the video. The best way to change the world is to vote with your food dollars, and the best way to maintain your health. So keeping hydrated, using water with a little salt or electrolyte powder. I have some electrolyte powder on my website that kind of makes the water taste fruity. If you don't like water or salt water, drinking your nutrition if you can't eat. So a lot of the farms that I just mentioned make excellent bone broth. If you don't want to make it, but if you can get some good quality bones, clean grass-fed bones, and you have a pressure cooker, it's pretty easy to make. And then if you can tolerate raw dairy, whether that's cow or sheep or goat, whatever works for you, those are really sustaining things to do. And then you can have some herbal teas also, just to keep your body warm. You tend to get cold when you've had a shock. So drinking something like, I find for myself anyway, peppermint tea is just, I don't know, it just does something that helps me get through the moment. You may prefer different herb, chamomile, explore different herbal teas. They actually have blends that you can buy, pre-made stress tea blends. Kava is another one. Kava is an herb that helps to calm you down. So that's another option, kava tea. And then just literally keeping yourself warm by wrapping yourself up in a fuzzy blanket. Kind of like treat yourself like you would treat an infant that's that's in distress. You know, wrap yourself up in a warm blanket and have something warm to drink. You may want to consider purchasing an infrared heating pad. I'll put a link to my favorite one in the description of the video, along with a discount code. It is very therapeutic to have infrared therapy. So a heating pad is the least expensive, most portable way of using it. And I've been sleeping with my infrared heating pad, and it makes such a big difference for me. I feel so much better with it. But you can also get an infrared sauna if you're willing to do that. And, you know, sweating is helpful. Just make sure you stay very hydrated and take your electrolytes. And anything else that you can do to comfort yourself, right? That's really the key here. That will help to down regulate your nervous system. So even while you're like this and your adrenals are pumping out adrenaline, you can be counteracting it to some degree by doing things that are soothing. Maybe taking a hot bath with Epsom salt, if you're able to do that, is also a great idea. Epsom salt is actually magnesium, and magnesium has a calming effect. It relaxes muscles. It's anti-inflammatory. So that's something else that you can try. And then maybe using essential oils that you like. You know, everybody knows that lavender is calming. I just actually do not like the way it smells. I love lavender first. It has so many great benefits. I use it for cuts. When you're bleeding, I put lavender on there. It stops the bleeding, bumps and bruises. It reduces pain. It speeds up healing. I just don't happen to like the way it smells. But if you want advice regarding specific essential oils that are calming, and I use the brand called Young Living, which is widely available all over the world. And I'm not trying to say that's the only brand you should ever use or the best one. That's just what I'm trained in, so that's what I know. And they have a blend called Stress Away. They have a blend called Peace and Calming. They have Tranquility. There's a lot of different blends that you can use to help, and they really do seem to help. You just have to find the one that works for you. So those are the kind of external things you could do. For the internal things, I want to share the supplements that I use in situations like this. And I will tell you the truth that earlier this week, I was in bad shape. I went through a really, really hard thing, and my physical body was not feeling good. I literally felt sick, and I was having a little bit of pressure in my chest, in the pit of my stomach. I felt weak. I felt like my arms and legs were going to fall off. I was lightheaded. That's another thing that can happen with these shocks and traumas. You can have panic attacks where you're hyperventilating, you're breathing too much, you're too fast, and then you get lightheaded and you feel like you're going to literally feel like you're going to die when you're not. You're not in danger, but you just feel like you are. So that happened to me. And my best friend, who does what I do for a living, who's a wonderful practitioner. She doesn't live anywhere near me. She's in a different state, unfortunately, but she had gone through something similar a few years ago. And I gave her a call and I said, I need help because I'm not doing well and I'm not feeling good. And I can't be my own doctor right now. I'm not thinking clearly. And she reminded me what I needed to do. So I'm going to screen share exactly what I did. Hello, I'm still slightly brain fogged here. Okay. And that is not what I wanted to screen share. Okay. Sorry guys, just bear with me for a minute. think I'm screen sharing now. Right, so the first thing that I want to talk about is this product, and it's called Cataplex B. And you know, the supplement company that I use has weird names for their supplements. Cataplex basically means vitamin. It's a special blend of B vitamins that is incredibly helpful when you've had a trauma. So whether the trauma is that you tripped on the sidewalk and fell down, or whether it's that you suffered a huge loss, Cataplex B to the rescue. And I've been using it for years. And I actually take it every day. But I was taking my normal dose, and my friend said to me, no, I want you to take a lot more. I want you to, quadruple the dose that you normally take. She made me just go to the bottle and open it up, and I literally took 20 all at once. Wow, what a difference. I actually felt normal, still sad, still having the suffering from a loss, but my body felt much more normal. So that was a few days ago. I'm continuing to do that. I slept really well last night. This supplement is not a sleep supplement. It just helps to stabilize your nervous system when you're dealing with a situation like this. So that was number one. And the next thing that I did, and I always do this, and I do it every day also, but I do it more when I'm, experiencing extreme stress, is Min-Chex. If you follow me, you've heard me talk about it. Min-Chex is mineral support for stress. And I affectionately refer to it as chill checks. So I call it my chill pills. It does not make you sleepy. None of these things have any side effects. They're all just made out of food. They're all natural. This guy is amazing though. I don't want to live my life without this. So I've been taking it for years because I do have a very demanding life. I remember it was about 15 years ago, my son was having some major surgeries. For anybody that doesn't know, my son was born with a rare genetic disorder, and he needed a lot of reconstructive plastic surgeries over the course of a number of years when he was younger. And of course, it's, very scary for a mom to go through that. And Min-Chex got me through it, and I needed a really high dose. And then after everything was over and he was fine, I noticed that I was extremely relaxed at the high dose that I was taking, and I had to reduce it and take a little less. So anybody that has any kind of chronic stress, or if you've suffered a major loss or trauma, shock, major stress, I recommend Min-Chex because it will replete the minerals that you get depleted of when you're experiencing this. The next thing, and all of these are on my website, but I will put a link to them in the description of the video. The next one is a homeopathic remedy called Calm 5, and it's specifically for agitation, shock, and fear. It's a homeopathic combination formula of specific things that help you to deal with fear, extreme agitation, shock, anxiety, grief, hopelessness, and denial. And it's pretty amazing. It works really well, and especially if you can take it as soon as possible upon having your, trauma. And then lastly, as you're starting to do a little bit better, you can use Fields of Flowers, which is another homeopathic remedy. It's flower essences that are specific for fear, anxiety, despondency, just sadness or nervousness, or just you're, feeling anxious, but it's not severe, but it's interfering with your functioning. I've been pretty much taking that every day since this happened, and I carry it around with me. I notice that I'm needing it less and less as the days pass. So those are the remedies that I wanted to discuss with you. As always, please feel free to reach out to me if you need specific help and guidance for yourself. do a consult for you and put together a program to help you with not only what this video is about, but with any health challenge that you may be facing. And you can email me at questions@drcori.com, DRCORI. I will put that in the description of the video as well. Thank you so much for listening and letting me share this rough period of my life with you. I appreciate your attention. There's a lot of other videos that I'm going to be doing. I'm getting a lot of requests. I'm paying attention to all your requests. I haven't forgotten anything. If you have any more requests, keep them coming. I will get to all of them. I just had a little bit of a slowdown, and I appreciate your understanding. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you're not subscribed, the like button so more people can find this video, and last and most importantly, please share this with anyone you know that might benefit from the information. Until I see you again, I hope you stay well.